Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being so prompt. I appreciate you very much. Welcome to the first meeting for 2024. Oops. Okay, got it. Welcome to the first meeting for 2024 of the Motor Vehicles and Transportation Subcommittee meeting. I will say it again. Thank you all for being so prompt. The speaker would be proud. I have less than 4 minutes to, I'm kidding, to go through the procedures. The procedures are basically the same as last year. Zoom link will be sent out to you Monday or Tuesday. Gretchen will send out the agenda as soon as it's the final agenda, but what we're going to try to do is let you know as soon as we can a tentative agenda, just so you can prepare if you would like. Because sometimes we know what's going to be on ahead of time, and then just understand that that will be subject to change, as it always has been. My Chief of Staff, Gretchen Ezekiel, will be host and will be muted and not visible unless we need her. Everyone goes into the waiting room, and then Gretchen will let them in. Please know that this meeting is just for members and council. We will invite others, departmental folks and advocates as necessary, but they are only to speak when called upon. And they can always watch on Zoom, because, you know, who doesn't want to watch this? So we also ask that for that reason, you don't share your Zoom link with anyone else, that is just for you. The last thing I will ask you is, if you have advocates that you know are relevant to a particular bill, please let Gretchen and Patrick know if you would like them to be available, and make sure that they have their name shown so that Gretchen can let them in. OIS has mandated that we know who's in our meetings, so we can't just let folks in if we don't know who they are. Gretchen, Patrick, what did I miss? And I know, Chair Healy, I see that you have a question.
Yeah.
I didn't miss anything as far as I heard.
Ditto, Patrick. This is Gretchen.
Thank you. Chair Healy.
The only question I have is the Zoom link going to be the same from week to week, or is it going to change every week?
It will change every week. Every meeting is individually scheduled.
Okay, thank you. Good to know that. Thank you.
Any other questions from members? Excellent, thank you. All right, well, let's dive in, folks. We have 3 bills on our agenda. These 3 bills were bills that we passed out last year. They're bills that we heard today. They are HB 102, HB 111, and HB 113. So we will go through them individually. We will start with HB 102, that is Delegate Miller's bill on motorcycles. You may remember that we had a really robust discussion last year because of the various laws out there with ages and heights and et cetera. And in the end, we came back to the bill as it is, and we passed it as it is. Delegate Miller has a cross file this year because, nope, I lied. She does not. My bad. It passed 135-2 last session out of the House, and it stalled in JPR. So that is the history. Any discussion? All right, there's a motion on the floor.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, please raise your hand, say aye, jump up and down.
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Awesome. Thank you very much.
Madam Chair, just for the record,
Yes, sir.
there is a cross file on this bill.
Oh, there is?
730. See, she got her bill in early, so it doesn't show up on the bill.
Oh,
But
okay,
she does
great.
have a cross file. Senate Bill 730.
7:30. Thank you very much, Patrick. That is helpful. I appreciate that. Okay, moving on to HB 111. That is Delegate Jones's bicycle on sidewalks bill. That one I know has a cross file. That is Vice Chair Waldstreicher in the Senate. Same thing, this passed this subcommittee unanimously. It passed out of the House on 135-2, and stalled in the Senate. Yes, Delegate Morgan.
Two things, Delegate Love. I'm having a hard time hearing you for some reason. I'm not sure why. You fade in and out. But then on B, relative to the bill, I do have a couple concerns that was brought up about e-bikes in this bill, because e-bikes can pick up a pretty good amount of speed, more than a regular bicycle can. I don't know, when you're riding a regular bike, I don't know how fast an e-bike slows down compared to a normal bicycle. So I think that point that was made about having e-bikes on sidewalks has me concerned, and I was wondering what everybody else thought.
So it's a great question. And I actually looked up the section of the code. It's 11-117.1 of the transportation article, and subsection B talks about the different classes of e-bikes, and class 1, the motor ceases to provide assistance when the bicycle reaches 20 miles an hour. Same with class 2. Class 3 is 28 miles an hour, for what that's worth. And the other thing that I will throw out is that it puts it back to the locals, so that if they would like to exclude e-bikes, that they certainly can do that. Other folks, other discussion on this? Yes, Delegate Jacobs.
So I'm not looking at the testimony from the gentleman that was unfavorable, but it looked like, actually my hometown in Rock Hall looked like e-bikes were legal, but non-e-bikes were not legal. Now.
Huh, okay.
So I'm not sure, but the fact that they would be, I guess each jurisdiction is enabling, so I guess each jurisdiction would have to do their own type of legislation. That's correct, right?
Correct.
Yes, that is correct. I'm gonna try to figure out why my speaker is soft. But in the meantime, I will shout. Is this better, folks?
It's
Yes.
much better.
Okay, I will shout for you and put up my output. There we go. Okay, other thoughts, discussions? Does that help, Delegate Morgan? Do you want to talk through this more?
No, as long as if an e-bike can go 28 miles an hour and the speed limit on the street is 30, I hate to think that we're going to just sit there, since it's enabling is a whole different story, but the guy decides there's a traffic jam at 30 miles an hour, so he just hops his bicycle up onto the sidewalk and zips by everybody at 28 miles an hour, and people could be walking. It's sort of precarious when you start putting the e-bikes into the legislation, but I understand it gets enabling. So, jurisdictions, hopefully, just like golf carts, are going to be smart enough to do the right thing.
You mean Todd carts?
Excuse me?
You mean Todd carts?
Exactly right.
Delegate Jacobs, you're muted.
Yeah, he wants to rename those too to Todd cards. I'll move favorable on the bill.
I'll vote second that.
Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, say aye, raise your hand. Delegate Jacobs, you're frozen, but since you moved, I'm going to count you as favorable. Anyone opposed? Great. Bill passes out of sub unanimously. Thank you, everyone. Now, our last bill, Delegate Lehman, the helmet requirement for minors. This is not exactly in the same posture as it was last year. As you heard, the first amendment actually comes from Senator Jennings, I believe. Delegate Lehman went out to his farm over the interim and added some new language based on some of his concerns. And then, so that's the bill that we have. And then she also had an amendment for therapeutic riding. Any discussion?
Me again, please.
Yes, sir.
Last year, we talked about fairs and carnivals and having the helmets not being a requirement, fairs and carnivals. Is that in this bill? I didn't see it.
Yeah, so they're not a part of the bill.
They are not.
They are not. So this bill only applies to a horse on a highway, a public horse riding path or trail, or the grounds of a facility that solicits or offers to the public recreational, educational, or competitive equestrian activities.
Okay, good. Then we don't have to worry about carnivals and fairs.
Correct. They are not included.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Can everyone hear me now that I'm screaming?
Yes.
Okay.
I will move the bill. Make the motion.
We have an amendment first.
Yes.
Sorry
We
about
need to discuss or move the amendment first. So this is the one where she adds therapeutic and then has an exemption saying that they are authorized to use an alternative helmet, not the regular helmet.
I'm guessing that's more for safety.
So yes, a lot of the folks who are doing therapeutic riding can't use the original helmet. They have special helmets.
Okay.
Delegate Guyton?
I was going to just answer some questions if anybody had about these programs, because it's something I know a lot about. But in lieu of any questions, I will just move as favorable on the amendment and see where we are.
Great. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. Okay. Any opposed? Okay. Amendment passes unanimously on the bill as amended.
Move favorable.
Second.
Great. Any further discussion? Seeing none on the bill as amended, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right. Anyone opposed? The bill is amended, passes unanimously. Dang, we are efficient. It is not even 3:30. I love you all very much. Thank you. Have a wonderful rest of day. Actually, I should say, any further business for the good of the order? Anyone?
See you Monday.
Wonderful. See you all Monday. Thank you.
Aye.
Bye.
All right. Done with that.